Hello everybody, Matt from Just Stack It here, and I wanted to ask a slightly personal question. Some people will answer, some will not, and that's fine either way, but what was the catalyst that got you into stacking or collecting? I feel like most of us are a little bit of both. In my case, it was this, a 1964 Washington quarter. Now, not this specific one, by now I'm sure I've lost track, but what happened for me was one day my daughter brought me her change. I think she was trying to buy Robux, and we'll get into that in another video, I'm sure, but she brought this to me, and I think I had all the coins like in my hand, gathered up. And I remember looking down at it and looking at that and thinking, oh, well, maybe that's Canadian. I hadn't really stacked or collected. I knew, what I needed to know, but it just didn't hit me right off. And so I went to look at it, and I'm like, no, it's a quarter. And then I'm like, no, wait a minute. That's 1964. That's silver. So I had the talk with my daughter at that point, and I told her, what this coin was and that it was worth more than a quarter, and I'm sure we settled that somehow. But that was what reminded me. But the key here is why this was so important at the time was I was at a position in my life where I was actually out of debt. Almost entirely. Maybe I have my car payment, so I guess some people would consider that not to be out of debt. But after wrenching on cars for longer than I can remember and keeping a small fleet up and running, it's nice to kind of downsize and to have a vehicle that you're not going to really have to do a whole lot of wrenching on your own. So earlier this year I did buy a brand new car. Probably the worst time, but a good decision nonetheless in my eyes. But I took some old jewelry that I had from my ex-wife that was sitting around. I went down to my local buy and sell, and you never get what you paid for in those kind of situations. We all know that. But I was able to negotiate and asked him if he had anything he could trade to give me a little bit more value for what I was giving him. And he said if I took silver rounds, which I didn't even know at the moment that he had, he said if I took those in exchange, he would give me a little more than whatever our already agreed upon price was for a cash payment. So I did that. And when he set all of those ounces of silver into my hand, and I don't remember what the exact number it was, but it was somewhere close to a pound. I remember it was being shy of a pound somehow. I forget what the exact count was, but you feel that weight in your hand, and you see even rounds, they're gorgeous, right? And I think that got me. And so I started going into him every now and again and buying some more, and then I get some gold and things. But that's what started me on my journey to stacking precious metals. And some of the auctions, as you'll see in front of me, that I've been to, which I do gotta say I gotta go check in on Silver Dragons. And Ravenhawk coins, I think, was the first auction that I actually bid on. Props to him for being super welcoming, making it easy for new members to get on the bids and to participate. And then shortly after that, there was the charity auction for Stacy's Miscellany. And so I jumped on that. I got some stuff from Seeker. Something in there was from RFT there. You see the sticker that I got with that order. And I've been around, I've seen everybody, but what I want to know from you is, what was your catalyst? What was your turning point or event? I mean, some of us, I guess, are lucky enough to have had somebody, a father, grandfather, someone foster us from a younger age, and maybe some of you have been collecting for decades or stacking for decades. I, unfortunately, am not that lucky, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because getting out of debt was important. that allowed me to see the potential of the money that I had on a daily basis. And then now I'm getting to work, putting my money to work for me, storing it in assets rather than liabilities. And we'll get into more on that in future videos. But I'm very curious as to what some of the stories are. I've been around, as you can tell, I've met a lot of you, and it's just such a welcoming community. You guys are all great. I see it every day, people donating things to other bidders, people adding things to giveaways. It's really heartwarming. You can tell that you guys all care about each other. I'm happy to be into the community now, and formally introduced as Just Stack It. So I want to know from you, with whatever you care to share, about your catalyst. What got you into stacking and collecting precious things that actually have intrinsic value? All right, that's it for me today. Another short video, but they will get better as time progresses. I thank you all for your time and attention. Be good to everyone out there, and I will catch you in the next one.